Yo, what's up, dudes? Off Meta Michael here. This is a really good patch. They got rid of weapon swap penalty, which I so wanted so bad. And now you can swap weapons seamlessly and make way more cool builds because of it. And so I'm using a mace and a quarterstaff. While leveling, I also used a spear for some of the disengage and throwing abilities of that. And I went Warbringer. And everyone wanted to go Deadeye, so I went the other direction. Anyway, let's check it out. So the idea with my build then is I found a few nice things too, like this support. Fully breaking armor with supported skills affected targets to permanently take 2% increased physical damage up to 20%. Supported skills break 70% more armor. So I put that on Fissure, and then I have armor explosions with rage and then attack speed. So I can get these down. And then look at that. Machine gun totems, dude, with fissures. It's kind of nuts. Do you see how many times that goes off? So I discovered some cool tech, and the totems are faster if you summon them with the quarterstaff. Like, quarterstaff has attack speed on it, and it's a faster base than, say, a mace, right? So here, let me just show you a totem with the mace. There's the speed. Okay, now here's with the quarterstaff. Look at that. It literally looks almost twice as fast. And so it has almost 400 damage. Not bad. This whole build costs 10 Exalt right now. Everything else I found, okay, in the game through the campaign and just some maps. And look, this is so budget, okay? I don't have a single 6 link. I've only got 4 supports on stuff. And like, I'm on my gems, you know, are like level 15. I spent 10 exalts on this armor on the trade, and I've bought nothing else. Without scavenge plating, we're at 73% armor, and I have the armor also applies to elemental damage on gloves, boots, armor, and helmet. We're up into the 80s for armor applying to elements, which is pretty sweet. It does work. There was a lot of dooming saying, oh, it's before resistances, and so it's going to be garbage. It seems to be working. I have 1600 life, and I feel pretty tanky. All right, let's take on these bosses. So totems, fissures, and then I can do the hammer, explode it, and then rolling slam. She's gone. So here's like some of my ancestrally boosted attacks. Look at that. I can just auto attack this guy down like that too. Pretty tight. So in case you missed that, it was 3 totems, a few fissures like that, and then while that's happening, I throw down the hammer, Warcry, explode the hammer, and then I'm doing this rolling slam into it. I also have this, and then I have this, and every one of those attacks is ancestrally boosted. So I have Ancestral Call on my quarterstaff strike. I've got Fist of War 2 on rolling slam, Fist of War 2 on Leap Slam, and then I also have Fist of War 3 on Forge Hammer, this one, and that doubles the effect of ancestrally boosted attacks. So that's really good, dude. Like, boom, boom, and it's so strong. So the only thing about it is that it takes 14 seconds for it to replenish. But I just don't use it that much. You know, I wait until there's a rare or a boss to use it most of the time. So anyway, drop 3 totems, lay down a few fissures. What's cool about the fissures too is that they can just keep connecting. So as long as they're all apart, look, it'll engage the entire thing I've laid down. So what's fun about this build too is like you can paint like the streaks across the screen how you want, and let it all connect and lead You know, like, look at that. It gives you, it makes you feel like you're really in control of what's happening, even though it looks probably to you like just screen vomit. You know, like, it looks like, how could I possibly see what's happening, right? Sometimes it feels that way, but a lot of times I do know what I'm doing. 91% rarity on that box. All right, here we go. Get all these down. I'm breaking the shit out of their armor. They're exploding whenever they break the armor. So you can see I survived that right there too. I just kind of stood in the middle of everything. And we didn't die. Like, is armor fixed? It sure feels like it, you know? This is only a tier 5 map, by the way. My build is not, like, fully min-maxed or anything. Like I said, I spent 10 exalts on this chest piece. That's it. Okay? Like, I don't have a single 6-link. Look. Okay, here's the rare. Oh my gosh. Okay, we got him. My gosh. Just imagine the tech that'll be available once Druid is out with this kind of stuff, too, with the bear form and all that. Like, you're going to be able to, like, just stomp around as a bear, you know? Like, instantaneous swapping, too. Honestly, I can't tell what's happening right now. I think I got them all. Okay, I did. Yeah. Yep. Here's another rare right here. Totems, Fissure, Hammer, Explode, Rolling Slam. Gone. Ooh, this is a cool unique actually for leveling. This is a good leveling unique. All stats, 50 spirit, regen. It's not too bad. Double wisp. All right, we're just gonna range this one, I think. There we go. Yep.
You're a natural at this.
There's another. Oh, there's another one. Hammer him. What's happening? Is he gone? Did I get him? I got him. Yeah, I got him. Okay, that's the only problem with the build is I can't see sometimes. All right, here we go. Okay, let's do that. Explode it, totem, and there you go. And then rolling slam, they're gone. All right, let's totem the crap out of this guy with fissures. There he goes. He went down, and I didn't even have to really get near him. Okay. What kind of damage do these guys do sometimes? Is it just, do they just do more damage? I feel like the Abyss guys are the only ones that really kind of are scary to fight for me on my playthrough. Whoa.
Destruction!
There we go. Yeah. Dude went down, man.
Feel my wrath!
That was nice. Whoa. The guy actually was starting to hurt me.
Crush them!
Damn, dude. Alright, so what do I like about this? One, it cost me 10 exalts, okay? Just for this armor right here. The rest of the stuff, I'll just kind of like glance over it. I found and crafted myself using the new abyssal mechanic too for a 6th modifier, you know, just literally just exalted things to 5 mods, went and did the abyssal mechanic for the desecration and got a 6th mod, and it ended up being useful. This belt, for example, only has 5 mods. I don't have another one to get the 6th mod for the desecration yet, but I did find this and exalted it, and it got resistances. Or it started with lightning, and then I used a fire essence, and then it got cold. You can see here's the boots, here's the gloves, here's the armor, here's the helmet. I got this in the campaign, this amulet. It's okay. It's got resistances and stuff and some rarity and some armor. Rings are just leech, you know? Like this one's got life leech and intelligence, and it's got some flat damage. This one's got some stats and flat damage and some resistances. I got mana leech on my gloves. Found this and crafted it. The desecration on this was a bunch of fire damage, 98. And then my quarterstaff I found. The desecration got the physical damage. Leveling through the campaign with the abyssal league mechanic was wonderful. It really allowed for some nice crafts and progression. What I also like about this is I did not have to use Herald of Ash. So there's no heralds on this build. The AoE is good enough. I could slot in Herald of Ash. I have the spirit for it, but I just didn't. So like this build is totally unoptimized, you know? No 6 links anywhere. I only have 3 on my Forge Hammer. And I'm in tier 5 maps, doing fine. For my spirit, I do use Scavenge Plating. This really helps a lot with my armor. And then I am using Time of Need. So at level 15, I get 344 life with the compressed duration support that sets every 7.5 seconds. And it also dispels curses. So that's really nice for mapping because you can get temporal chains or elemental weakness as one of the modifiers, and this will just get rid of it. Yep. I don't have enough support gems yet to even fill in my Ancestral Spirit. Also because the Ancestral Spirit wasn't working before. So they just fixed it yesterday. It wasn't spawning on my totems before. Everything, like, it's just damage, you know, on these, and then ancestrally boosted. So that's like what I have, or like attack speed for all this stuff. That's all it is. And the rotations are just like 3 totems, fissure, hammer, explode the hammer with a war cry, rolling slam, leap attack if I want, auto attack if I want. Look at that. These buffs are nice too. Rage on hit, attack speed, 50% increased damage. The minions give a lot of buffs. All right, y'all. Here's the passive tree then. Only have 4 points for Ascendancy. I took the Break Armor for hit damage, and I took the Ancestral Spirits with the +1 totem. This was bugged. They fixed it yesterday. That's cool. And then unoptimized build. We're only level 76, okay? And like I said, this is unoptimized. I don't have the weapon swap or anything yet, but in case you're curious, I took this for the +1 fissure up here, 20% chance. I got a jewel socket here for some stun, some physical damage, some stun threshold, and some increased damage against fully broken armor. And then I found another jewel here that has rage when hit, increased life leech, increased attack damage, and increased armor. This is another one. 30% of armor also applies to elemental damage. That's a new node, and that's pretty damn nice. These ones have fire right here. You can get cold up here and lightning here. And then I did take this for extra armor, this for recoup as life. This is good. 25% of physical damage prevented, recouped. I think that's pretty good. And then I got some mace nodes over here with aftershocks and damage. And then I took all of the ancestrally boosted nodes over here so that my hits are pretty hard, my slower hits. And then the other important thing is the totem placement. So like 20% here, there's some 20% here, some 20% here. And then if you take the support gem on the totem as well with that, which is totem placement 80%, you can place them pretty dang fast. So I got beef over here, I got some attack speed over here with some dexterity, a few more attack speed nodes here. We got some area damage, and then there's also some regen here, and then just some basic armor and area damage nodes here, and stun buildup, and then finally just we've got some more strength over here. And then these are pretty good too. These are armor break nodes. So we get more damage against armor break. We get enemies are maimed and they cannot regenerate when their armor's broken. And then we have increased effective fully broken armor. So those are all pretty good too, I think. So I've got a lot of leveling to do, you know. I can level up like 20 more freaking times and grab all kinds of stuff over here for like more totems and all that. And then I can really min-max my spec so that my weapon swap is a little bit more efficient. And I haven't even done that. And it's been pretty cool so far. So yeah, 10 Exalt build. Basically never respect anything yet. Just kind of went, you know, as I leveled and just made the right choices the first time around, essentially. Just kind of knew what I was doing once I found, you know, a couple decent items. And there we go. That's it. I need my ascendancies. I mean, like, what else am I going to take? You know, there's these Warcry things where you can explode corpses. That might be cool. There's better armor breaking capability up here. There's even more totem stuff for more tankiness. And then there's all this block stuff, too. I was curious about block. And this one, for example, you take 20% of damage from blocked hits. Maximum block chance is 75%. I'm curious about what happens when you take this with your block chance. Does that mean you have a threshold of 75% as opposed to 50%? Or does it mean your block chance is just 75 now? I think it's the first one, right? Anyway, I'm curious about that with a Guardian or Barrier Quarterstaff or Aegis Quarterstaff, you know, those ones that have block chance on them. Might be kind of cool to run a Quarterstaff Warbringer with the block chance as the implicit, and then get like Turtle Charm and see if you can build into block that way. Might be kind of cool. I don't know. We'll see. I'll have to test that. The other option would be like Encased in Jade for more tankiness. You know, maybe I go something like that. Overall, I've really enjoyed Warrior so far. I think Warrior feels really good right now, especially with the changes to armor. And a lot of the stuff scaling off weapons as opposed to just having their own innate damage and needing the gem levels so bad. And then reducing the requirements for stats allows for weapon swap and everything. Man, so many changes that I wanted they did, and it's been a much better experience leveling through the campaign. And I really liked the campaign a lot with the changes they made, the additional act, and the interludes. All right, dudes, that's the build I'm working with right now. Got a lot of optimization to do for it, and it's been really fun so far. All right, later.